Hello, I am Goldfish Pie from Team 8962 Time Crafters, and today we are doing a single-player Pong tutorial in Java. So this is going to be, I think, a two-part series. In the first part, we'll make the controls for the paddle, and the second part, we'll add in the ball, and maybe we'll have a third part for hitboxes and stuff. So, to start this out, I have a Java project called Games, and a package inside of the source folder called Pong. You can make those. Next up, we're going to click up on new Java class. We're going to call it main because it's going to be the main part of the program. We'll go call on all the rest of the class. Click on public static void main like that and hit finish. Alright, now that that is in, we're going to add in a new class, a class called canvas. And it's going to extend a component, and it implements the action listener effects. So hover over J. Oh my goodness, there's an A in there randomly. Also, I think, pretty sure J component. J component looks like that thing. Fairly sure of that. Import and hover over action listener and hit import. Alright, hover over canvas and click on add unimplemented methods. We're not going to do anything with this, so you can leave in that or put in here. I'm going to put in don't add anything here. Add to objects class. Alright, just like that, so that I remember. I'm going to delete this one now here in main though. Alright, next up we're going to make a JFrame. So JFrame window, so we're going to call the JFrame window equals new JFrame, parentheses, a semicolon, not a colon there. Hover over JFrame, click import JFrame, that should be good. Also, I'm going to tab that down because it looks a little bit OCD about that in though. Alright, next up, window.set default close operation. Should be the top one there. So, looks like that. It's really long. It's completely ridiculous. So, we want JFrame dot exit on close. So this means that when you hit the little X button on your window, it'll just completely end the program, which is nice. So, next up, we're going to set how large our window is and where it starts. So, window.set bounds. I'm going to start it at the top left hand corner of the screen because I think it's convenient. And it's going to be 700, not 6,000, 700 by 700. This is the position where it is on your screen. This is, I think, height and width. Alright, cool. So next we'll add canvas to it. So window dot get content pane dot add new canvas. I spelled something wrong there. So it looks like this. No. Cool. So now we just have to make our window true, or window visible. Window true. So window dot set visible true. So that's, for some reason by default it's set to false. I don't know why. I don't understand. So if you hit the run in Eclipse, it'll do some compiling, and you'll have a nice and lovely window there in your top left hand corner of the screen. I would highly recommend it making it 700 by 700 because the rest of the tutorial will work if you make it 700 by 700. Otherwise, you'll have to modify some things. If you're smart, you can figure it out, but I'm not going to show you how to. So there is that. Next up, we're going to make our objects class, which is going to house our ball and our paddle. So I'm going to call it objects and do not click public static void. Don't. It's bad. Don't do it. Finish. Alright. So we're going to extend and implement some very similar things. So in our class objects. So it's going to extend JPanel instead of JFrame, and it implements the action listener class. So hover over JPanel, hit import as usual. Hover over action listener, hit import as usual. Hover over objects, hit add unimplemented methods. There we go. And yeah, we'll do stuff with this in just a couple of minutes. Just hold on. We have to make a timer to activate our action listener right now. So timer tm equals new timer parentheses semicolon. Someone moving around chairs or something upstairs. That's kind of irritating. But import the java.swing one. Don't import the rest of these ones. Only import java.swing. That will actually equals new timer 5 to this. We have to change this to 5 comma this. This is referring to action listener, and action listener is referring to this. So when every 5 milliseconds, this will run everything in here. In case you're wondering, there's a little bit of an explanation on that. Alright, next we'll make a new object. So public objects and it is going to start our timer. So tm, which is referring to our timer, which we call tm dot start. I made it like a winky face with the tongue sticking out. That's funny. I don't know why. I don't know why I found that so funny, but I thought that was kind of fun. Alright, next we're going to paint up our rectangle. So to do that we need our paint class. So we'll do that right now. So public, or method, excuse me, this is a method. Public void paint. I think it's a method. Pretty sure it's a method. Graphics G. All that in there. We're not going to do. Alright, hover over your graphics, hit import. And in here, we're going to draw our old rectangle. So, G dot fill rect. I'm going to make it for now at the 0 position in X, 0 position at the Y. It's going to be 100 wide. Actually, no, I want it 300 wide by 100 high. So like that. Alright, so now we just have to add everything in objects into main. That can be pretty simply done. So we have to call in the objects class. So objects, that's referring to the object class, and we're going to call it objects. You could call this anything you want. You could call it U for all I care, but you just have to make it similar in both positions. Also, they'll all make sense in a second. Equals new objects parentheses semicolon. Then window dot add objects. So this and this has to be the same. Like, see, it's highlighting. It's like, hey, objects, yeah, we're buttons. So if I call this like GG, this has to also be GG. Like that? Makes sense? I'm going to change it back to objects because that makes more sense than GG. Although it is always a good game. Cool. So now if we run it, we should have a nice lovely black square up in the top left hand in the corner of our screen like this. Nice. So next we want to animate our square. So first off we have to make a variable that we can manipulate. So I'm going to call it rectx because it's the rectangle on the x coordinates. it's going to be equal to 0. And it has to be an integer, because I'm used to. Alright, next we have to make an integer called velocity rect x. It's also going to be equal to 0. For now. We'll change that later. So our x coordinates has to be equal to rect x. If we run this right now, we'll see no change. Alright, so if we want to do, we have to add velocity to our position, just like in science. So rect x plus equals velocity rect x. Another way that some people see it, and it makes more sense to them, is rect x equals rect x plus velocity rect x. So it's just saying rect x is equal to rect x plus velocity rect x. So it's just adding rect x to velocity rect x. I'm going to delete that because it might mess things up. Actually it won't, but makes it look a little bit more confusing than it really needs to. Alright. So right now it won't move. If we run this, it won't move. It'll still be just a stagnant little black square. Actually, for goodness sake, just run and show the stagnant black square, please. Thank you. So stagnant black square. If we changed our velocity to something to like 1, now we should see it scroll to the right of our screen. Except we forgot to put in our repaint method. So put in repaint. This refreshes the screen. Right now we can run it, and it won't be stagnant. It will run across the screen like a lovely little Python is. Whoa, because we didn't make it super. So first off, you have to do G or super dot paint. Component graphics. G. Alright. This will give us all of everything we need. There we go. Now it's running across the screen. So just put in super.paint component and repaint, and you should have a lovely time. Having a little bit of a scratchy throat issue right now. Alright, but that's not particularly what we want to do. What we want to do is make it move when we hit our keys. And to do that, it is pretty simple. So we have to implement one other thing. That is key listener. Where did my mouse go? Thank you. Hover over it and hit import. And we're going to have to add a key listener. We'll do this in the same spot we started our time. So add key listener. And and we have to make it so that it is this. The reason we can do this is because we can have two thises, is because this is talking about this. This is talking about this. This can't talk to this. This method can't talk to this. This can't talk to that. That's why we can have two thises. Alright. So we made our key listener. We have to make it focusable, so set focusable to true. I spelled something wrong. Just make sure you spell it right. I apparently don't know how to spell today. So set, this is quite a long thing, so set focus traversal keys enabled false. Whew, that is quite the thing, but that's okay. We will basically, what this is for your shift and tab keys. So when you hit Shift E, it makes it capital E. That's that and tab, but we don't want to mess with that. It just makes it a bit more complicated than we need to. You'll have a little squiggly line under Objects. Hover over it. Hit Add Unimplemented Method, and it'll become a little yellow squiggly line because we haven't added anything into these. Saying, hey, you added some methods. So that's okay. What we're going to do is, first off, we're going to change our velocity back to 0, which is good. And we're going to make it so that when a key is pressed, it's set to 1. Alright, so key press. That's when the key is pressed down. We're going to do velocity rect x equals 1 semicolon. Just to start out with. Alright. So, run main. If we hit any key on the keyboard at all, it should go across the screen. Boop. Look at that. That's some pretty neat stuff. But we want to be able to decipher which key we're hitting. And to do that, we have to make an integer called get key code. So integer c equals e dot get key code semicolon. I did 2 equal signs in there. You only need 1 defining. And we can use this in conjunction with an if statement. So if c equals to event dot bk underscore d, because I'm WASD fan, so. And I'm going to put it inside of that. Hit this, tab it out. So now if we only hit the D key, we go to the right with our square. Let's see if this is true as soon as my computer starts and save. Hit the run. And I could hit any other key on the keyboard except for D. I accidentally hit D. That was next. Hitting any other key, I'm hitting B's, S, Z's, X's, A's, Q's, W's. If I hit D, hit run. You probably hear me because I have my really clacky keyboard. Alright, now we want to make it go left. So, else if C is equal to key event dot vk underscore d a thing up there, velocity rect x equals -1. So, smaller of the number, the more to the left of the screen you go. The larger of the number, the more to the right of the screen you go. Pretty simple. However, there's one fatal problem with our program right now, and that is that nothing is being displayed runs. If you hit D, it runs, keeps going. If I hit A, it doesn't go back. What? I made it D twice. Whoops. A. That wasn't the fatal problem with my program that I wanted to point out, FYI. If D program Y, if I D, alright, computer's being silly, and A, it just keeps going. I can't stop it. Can't stop the rectangle. It's a song or something now. Can't stop the rectangle. Just made that now. It's horrible. So, this is only working when key is pressed. This is when the key is released. So, when our finger gets removed from the key, that's when this method is called upon. So let's add in velocity rect x equals 0 semicolon. Very simple. So when the D key is pressed, the velocity is equal to 1. When the A key is pressed, velocity is equal to -1. And if nothing, and when they're released, it's set to 0. And velocity rect x is plus equals velocity rect x. Or rect x is equal plus equals velocity rect x. Let's run it, see if it works. If I hit D, why does the computer do this sometimes? It shows up, but it doesn't take input for some unknown reason. And sometimes it doesn't show up at all. Like right now. Just doesn't. Please, I'd like to see my boy. Thank you. There we go, see? Alright, hit A, goes a little bit, hit D, goes a little bit. It's great. And kind of really high right now. Gotta stay high all the time. But this is single player, so it's gotta be on the bottom side of the screen. So let's change the rect x y position to like I don't know, 550? That sounds fine to me. So the higher the number, the more down the screen. It's really odd, I think, to have it that way, but I don't know. It's fine with me. So now it's down there. Hit D, goes over. Hit A, goes over a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you for watching. Goldfish Pie out.